Hey everyone, welcome back. Brand new Take Aim podcast and big deer and big stories. That's what we do. And this week we're doing big gear, and we're excited to talk with Will Cooper from Pnuma Outdoors. And if you haven't paid attention the last couple of years, Pnuma has really come along as one of the front runners in some of the best clothing, from base layers to jackets to pants to overall accessories, bino harnesses to duffel bags, and Pnuma just has a great line of great stuff. And Will gives us a great kind of overlook of the whole company and some of the great products, some of their feature products, and some of the things we talked about today, like the bino harness and the duffel bag. And they've been doing for the last 10, 11, 12 days just a phenomenal giveaway. So make sure you guys listen to what Will says in the podcast. Make sure you enter to win, because, man, today is the last day, unfortunately, but they've done a great job with this giveaway, and today's some really big prizes. So, as always, deer season never ends. Hope you guys enjoy the show. We'll see you guys again next week. And, guys, if you had not had the chance yet, make sure to download the HuntStand app today. HuntStand's industry-leading property info feature is a powerful tool to help you find new places to hunt, learn more about your hunting area, and stay safe when you're out in the field. All kinds of features, guys. I mention them all the time on the show. HuntStand's the only app I use, and am blown away by some of its features. And constantly, every week, I'm learning something new. So make sure you check that out. Use the code TakeAim10. All right, boys and girls, we are live. Brand new Take Aim podcast, and always excited to get a new show out. And you guys know previously I'd love to talk about deer, but if we're not talking about big deer, I love to talk about gear, and I'm super excited to have Will Cooper with us from Pnuma Outdoors. And Will, what's happening, man? Down in Texas, probably living life. It's probably, you got a Corona, it's 80 at 9 in the morning down there probably.
Man, I wish. No, things are going great. It's actually kind of a gloomy day down here in Texas. We just kind of went through a crazy winter storm, and things are finally starting to feel like Texas again instead of up there in your parts.
Yeah, exactly. I thought you were going to say, how dare you? You only drink Shiner Brock, but, you know.
I'm actually a Lone Star guy.
Oh, there you go. Good job. I got some buddies in Texas. They talk about that beer and Shiner Brock all the time.
Yep, Shiner's a good one. You can't ever go wrong with that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, if you're probably getting a taste of our gloomy, 89 out of 90 days of weather. It's gloomy here, so I feel for you. So, but anyways, let's kind of jump into this, man. Excited to have you here, and excited to talk about Pnuma and really a lot of the cool things that I see from Pnuma and what's going on. But Will, if you would, kind of let's address just what Pnuma is and who you guys are. If there is anybody that kind of doesn't know, give us a little background of Pnuma and just how it operates for, us, the user, the customer that, is potentially going to buy some of this gear.
Yeah, for sure, man. Pnuma is a relatively new company in the outdoor space, and it was originally founded in Minnesota, but now it has moved down to Texas under new ownership. And Pnuma, our focus is designing gear that's geared for the outdoors, and we build our gear with the bow hunter in mind, from different cuts that are made for the elbows, for the shoulders, the cufflinks on your wrist. We try to make the best gear possible to essentially get the bow hunter in the stand where they can be comfortable, quiet, and effective. And we just really focus around that to help them be the most comfortable and just engineered to be the best and help them succeed.
Yeah, interesting you said that. Well, it seems like, from coats to some of the base layers, you've seen some of that kind of just on the exterior of those garments, mentioning the shoulders and the elbow pad, or not pads, but the elbow. Is that by design, or are you guys doing that to say, this is some of the stuff we bring to you guys?
It's by design. I mean, we've really put our gear to the test. We've got a recon team of 12 different guys that spend 200 days or more in the field. And not only do we heavily rely on them, we rely on our guide and outfitter program, and we also have an affiliate program, but we really rely on these guys and girls to take our product and test it. And we want to hear from them what they loved about the gear, what they didn't like, and the things they wanted to change so that it can be better for the consumer. And, that's where we've had the chance to put this gear to the test and find those things like how to design the shoulder or make cuts for the elbows or make cuts for the cufflinks, things that are going to be better for you, the bow hunter.
Exactly. So, Will, let's start with some of the line, I guess, and you can direct me any which way you want to go, but let's start with, maybe the base layers and move into some of the other garments. But let's talk about maybe some of the fabrics you guys use. I don't want to speak on your behalf, but I assume everything from the looks of Pnuma is very top end and very top notch. So let's talk about like some of the fabrics and what those fabrics do for us out in the field.
Yeah. So we could run through. Let's run through our Waypoint system because it's one of the most popular ones that we have. It's
sure.
It's a good midweight. It's been one of the most popular, and it's a good piece, good jacket, and good pant system that can be used kind of in the early season, middle season, and late season with proper layering. It's got a DWR coating on it, which makes it windproof. It's very water resistant. It's not exactly waterproof. I mean, if you went and sat in the tree stand and you just had a torrential downpour, you're going to get soaked. But,
right.
It's engineered to be windproof up to 50 miles an hour. We've got some different stitches that are sealed, tape sealed, heavy-duty zippers, so that way you don't have wind and the cold coming in, so it keeps you warm. And it's a fabric that's got a little bit of a stretch in it. And then we've also got our Pnuma Grid fleece lining inside that helps to keep your core warm and also has the protective overlaying on the shoulders. You can see the grid pattern on the shoulders and even on the elbows just to kind of help with any pack slippage or wear. But that's kind of been one of our most popular pieces aside from our heated core line. It's one of the only next to skin base layers that has a fiber weaved through it to heat your body, and it's battery powered. So that's been a super popular thing as well. And
sorry, Will.
No, go for it, man.
I was just going to ask, give us a little, which you probably were, but background on how that operates. Is it just like a USB? Can we recharge it? And where does that connection system take place? And like, what's the weight on it? Does the user feel it, notice it? How's that all work?
Yeah. So the Iconics heated core, we'll go through the vest, but it is battery powered, and you've basically got a pocket down close to your left hip at the base of the vest, and that's where your battery is stored. And you've got a cord that goes to that, connects to it, and you can also keep a spare battery on the other side, on your right side of your body. And then you've got a button up on your left chest that allows you to press that and change to 3 different settings on the vest itself. You can run it on low for longer periods. If you're going to be sitting in the stand all day and you need extended warmth, you can use that and essentially last you all day. And you can recharge these batteries through USB. But it's got different settings on there. And so it's got a couple of different spots where we keep the heating on your body where it needs it most. We got it where it's on your chest, around the kidneys area, on your back, and the base of your neck to just help distribute constant, efficient warmth and just keep you in the stand longer so you don't have to worry about the cold. Perfect.
Now, Will, what is your guys' recommendation? I know everybody's a little bit different on how they handle cold weather, but is there a certain recommendation for the type of temperature you should use this in?
Man, to me, it's kind of based on the person, and I think it's going to depend on your outer layer. I mean, if you're pairing this with our Waypoint system, like one thing I did this past deer season, just to kind of give folks an idea, I went and sat in the stand. It was 30 degrees outside, and I was just kind of like, all right, let's put this to the test. You know, frost on the ground. I just put on our Iconics heated core vest and pant on, and then the only thing I had on top of that was my Waypoint jacket and Waypoint pant. And I thought, all right, let's see how long, you know, because I'm a skinny guy and I'm not a big fan of the cold, so I get cold easily. And I thought, you know what, let's go sit in the stand. Let's see what happens, how long I can bear this. And so I put that thing on low, and I sat in the stand, you know, all morning. You know, I got up there at about 5:30, and I stayed in until 10, and I didn't get cold. The only thing that got cold on me was my nose, and that was it. And then, you know, of course, my fingertips, but that was the only thing that got cold on me, and I stayed warm inside the stand the whole time. I mean, it's basically like you got a big hand warmer wrapped around your body the whole time.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Yeah. And to kind of add into what you're saying, you know, and correct me if I'm wrong, Will, but I believe the Waypoint line is a very nice outer layer, but it's not like something that's super insulated or super thick. It's just kind of a nice, you know, like zip-up jacket, and I would assume they're kind of micro fleece line on the inside, but it's not something that's, you know, packed with insulation. So you're basically just wearing, you know, like a very regular type of jacket, you know, with that, you know, heating element basically.
Right. Yeah. The Waypoint, again, it's a good mid-weight. It's another good layer it's a good outer layer that I like to wear it in the mountains, you know, especially the pant. We've got vents down on the inner leg on the pant, and then even on the jacket itself, it has the pit vents. So that way, you know, if you can't strip down a layer quick enough, but, you know, you're just getting warm enough, you can open up those vents, cool off a little bit, and then, you know, once you start to lose heat, you can pull them back up and keep that heat inside.
Yep. I'm kind of one of those guys, Will, like I don't like my outer layers to be super insulated, so that sounds like exactly something I would wear probably 80% of the whitetail season. Yeah,
it's, you know, I love wearing it for just about anything. I think, you know, really once you start getting down below in the negatives, like what you've got right now where you are, that's when you want to put something on a little bit heavier or just layer a little bit more.
Now, I would assume to complement that, Will, you guys have an awesome line of, you know, some of the base layers and everything it seems that is talked about these days is merino. So give us a little rundown on you guys' base layers, because it seems like you guys have pretty awesome line of base layers to go complement like the Waypoint series.
Yeah. Actually, one of my favorite pieces that we have, it's our Gunnison hoodie, and it's a merino wool, and I love it. I mean, the fabric weight on it, it's sitting around 300 GSM, and it's an 87% merino wool with a 13% core spun nylon. And so it's a really great merino piece. We've got a left chest zippered pocket, which I'm actually wearing it right now, and then you've got another arm zipper pocket. So, I mean, if you're wearing this early season for whitetail, up in the mountains chasing big game, it's one of my favorite pieces, and, you know, I love it. It's got thumb holes on it, and I actually wear the thing every day. But, yeah, it's a great piece, and I always wear it underneath the Waypoint. It's, you know, just something, it's got its own hoodie, so I highly recommend it to a lot of people.
Now, one thing I noticed on that piece, Will, it seems like other pieces like that, what I've seen, the zip up like that, the quarter zip, but some of the collars almost get too high, and it looks like you guys kept that collar really nice and short, so it really complements another layer, which I love.
Yeah, we kept it because I don't, like you said, you know, sometimes you get zippers that are too high that feels like it's going to choke you. Exactly. This thing, we've got it positioned just in the right spot.
Yeah, it's really nice. So, you know, one thing we might have kind of skipped over, Will, a little bit is let's talk about right now before the end of the show, kind of like where everybody can kind of find Pnuma and, you know, what was the premise on coming to the customers in that manner, so to speak. I know it's not something we can run into, and as far as I know, I can't find it like a Dick's Sporting Goods or a Cabela's.
No, we love to stay primarily direct to consumer. We do have some of our stuff in some brick and mortar stores down in Texas, very small stores that are also owned by the holding company that I work for that owns Pnuma as well. But we love to stay direct to consumer because when the whole group got together to acquire Pnuma, that was one of the things that they wanted to stay true to that, stay true to the customer. It helps keep costs down, and it really just strengthens the quality of the brand. You know, and one of the other great things that this allows us to do is put a lifetime guarantee on all of our product. It's transferable, but we strongly believe in our product, that it's going to last a lifetime. And so as long as it's non-negligent, if anything happens to the product, we guarantee that, you know, we will replace it or fix it or do what we can. But we put that lifetime guarantee on it, and staying direct to consumer allows us to do things like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know, you know, obviously there's a bunch of brands out there and so on and so on, and everybody talks about a warranty. But, Will, I don't think, and you basically just called it out, you guys have a legit lifetime warranty, and I don't think you hear that very often anywhere.
No, it's pretty unheard of. I think there's a few other companies in the industry that might do something like that, you know, when it comes to gear and other products, but it's pretty hard in, you know, just the research that I've done, it's pretty hard to come across companies that have a lifetime warranty, not a limited lifetime warranty, but a legit lifetime warranty program.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I said, you just don't hear about it much. So kudos to you guys, you know, for offering it. I think that is, you know, something that, you know, me being a consumer, that's one of the things I absolutely look for and would probably go in your favor as to why I would purchase that, you know, for sure. So, and I apologize, Will, I feel like I'm jumping all over the place, but
no, man, it's a podcast. I'm game for whatever, man. You know, no worries.
So direct to consumer mostly, and I assume, Will, that's just basically right through the Pnuma Outdoors website. And to go along with that, Will, it seems like everywhere, and you actually mentioned it this week on the 12 days of giveaway you guys are doing, that some of these IG pages are popping up and they're fraudulent pages and some of that. So I assume you guys, you know, directly, your sales are through PnumaOutdoors.com, and that's pretty much it?
Yes. Yeah, PnumaOutdoors.com. You know, you can find us on social media, Instagram, Facebook. We've got a YouTube page now. But yeah, the 12 days of Pnuma, some of the scammers have been coming out and about, coming out from underneath their bridge and trolling on us and everything, claiming to be us.
Right.
And so, you know, I've got a lot of people. I think we've got a pretty loyal customer base because I've been getting a ton of messages from some pretty cool people that are just saying, hey, you know, don't know if you know this or not, but here's a scam page. They tried to add me and ask me for my credit card information, and, you know, we can't thank those people enough. You know, they see that and they recognize that, and, you know, they're loyal to us and telling us these things. And so I think it's pretty cool that we've got a consumer base like that. Yeah,
that is, for one, that tells you they're educated, which is great, and they're on top of things, and you know, they're looking out obviously for you guys' back and letting you know something's not right, which is phenomenal. So, and you know, it's like so ridiculous. Well, like you've probably been dealing with that all week, you know, or for the past,
man.
Yeah, I mean, how nuts?
Yeah, I mean, it's insane, man. I think, and it's weird because probably, you know, I get home around 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, and it seems like it's no sooner than as soon as I get done eating dinner, I sit down and the phone just starts blowing up with these messages from our followers that just telling us these things, and I go find these pages, and of course they block the Pnuma page, but
of course,
you know,
yeah.
I go find them on my personal page and I report them and block them. And so that's just what I've been telling everybody is like, please report and block. If you've done it already, thank you. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, very cool for sure. So, can we talk about one more line, Will? I kind of want to, I assume a late season line for whitetails is the Selkirk line. So can we talk about that kind of gear for just a minute?
Yeah, man, I'm an open book. I'm under no time restrictions. Whatever you want to ask, go for it.
All right, perfect. So I do know you guys have basically a jacket and pant that is a little bit, I assume, heavier, late season type for, than the Waypoint. So me being a whitetail guy, I mean, I've shopped on the website nonstop all week, and I'm like, I would do this one and that one. So pretty much the Waypoint would be for me and the Selkirk. So give me a rundown on that and how we should use it.
Yeah, our Selkirk actually has a waterproofing to it, which is pretty cool because you don't see that in a lot of outer layers unless it's a rain jacket like our 3L rain jacket. But we've got a 3M DWR coating on that for that water repellency. And we've also we've put some waterproof zippers on it. And the lining on the inside is a little bit warmer. And so for you guys that, are going to be in the stands late and you've got snow on the ground, it's below 30 degrees, this is probably going to be the piece for you. It's going to be a little bit more of your late season piece, keep you warmer versus your Waypoint, which is that mid-weight. It doesn't quite have the I'm trying to think of the right thing to say here. It's not going to quite be as heavy as what you need. So that's where we just recommend the Selkirk to come in for those later stand sits.
Yeah, cool. Absolutely. One thing that I thought was really cool, Will, is that, and maybe it's in the Waypoint, I didn't notice it, but you guys use the silver strike in the inside. So give us a little background on that. One thing I'm a huge fan of silver, and if you guys do a little research on it, you'll know why. But it's an antimicrobial, which is amazing, and for centuries we've actually, as humans, have used silver. But it seems like, like a lot of companies in the last several years have gotten away from using the silver, and maybe you can tell us maybe it's just cost. But I was super thrilled to see you guys still using it because the benefits to it is just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's at the end of the day when, I think you don't have to worry about it with turkeys, but, any big game, whitetail, mule deer, anything like that, you're always having to constantly be concerned with wind, thermals, especially up in the mountains, you've got to worry about that. But when you're in the stand, that wind can take a shift at any point. And so you want to be able to have control of your scent and control that odor for as long as you can. And not only that, the Silver Strike helps your gear stay fresh longer. So, for the guys that go up in the mountains that wear the same thing for 5, 6, 7 days in a row and haven't showered, things tend to get a little stinky. And so that's kind of where that Silver Strike can come in to help keep things fresher and just at the end of the day, help you manage your scent to help you be more stealthy and get on game much easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Out of all the things and that companies have come out with, silver has always seemed to work extremely well. One of the best, if you ask me. And another cool benefit to it, Will, is, which you probably know already, but it also helps regulate your body temperature a little bit, which is really great. So especially in those times when you said you're kind of walking into the stand in the morning and you're trying to stay cool, it's just such a big benefit, and being completely antimicrobial, and it's something, Will, as you know, like you can't wash it out of your garment.
No. And, that's one of the other things with our gear. We always recommend, washing it cold water and then just hang dry it or, tumble dry it with no heat at all. And so that way it helps protect the gear and help it stay fresher longer and last longer too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, another thing, Will, I kind of want to get into is, this is me being a whitetail snob, so I'm kind of just like, but those are the whitetail gear I want to talk about, so we're going to move on. I'm just kidding, but
yeah, you're good, man.
I want to kind of get into, which I always thought was really cool. When Pnuma came out, you guys had a really cool pattern called Terra, and now you guys have the new Kaza pattern. But give me a little background on both those patterns, because they're both just super unique and super awesome. And I know, legitly camo shouldn't be made for us, but I will say it's super eye-catching, and when you put it on, you just kind of, look at it and you're like, man, this is badass.
Yeah. So the Tariff Pattern, unfortunately, we're actually going to be phasing it out.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of that Western desert-type pattern that a lot of guys gravitated to. But since we've brought Kaza on board, it's really taken off and become super popular. But with that being said, I don't want to give away too much, but we do have other things coming in the future that could potentially replace that. But we'll focus on Kaza for now. I think one of the things you see in the industry is you're seeing too much digital, and a lot of guys are getting away from that, and they're really wanting something that's going to help them disappear, basically blend into their surroundings. And so the way that the Kaza pattern was designed, it's got some different macro shapes and micro textures that are distributed throughout the pattern to help disrupt things. There's different parts of light and dark patterns in there to help break up your image and distort your shape so you can blend into your surroundings, blend into your environments. And then you've got, your micro textures that we've thrown in there that just basically help you hide even better. And just putting those smaller parts and medium parts into the camo, it helps you blend in the surroundings even more, because it really just helps when you've got an animal in front of you. The way that the pattern is designed, it helps disrupt how they're looking at you and really just fool them and make them not even know what they're looking at. They might hear something, they might smell something, but they don't know what you are.
Yeah, absolutely. That one thing, I love that you said that, Will, about it which is so true, right? Like the industry was definitely and still trying to kind of hold on to the digital type of look. But one of the reasons I love the Kaza was it was a little bit of the opposite of that. It blended perfectly, like you said, macro and micro kind of look to it, but it has a different shape throughout the pattern, which I always look for, and it has the perfect tone of just every natural element in this pattern, which I love. And when you look at it, it's never the same, which I think is just so key when looking at a camo pattern. But it's
100%.
So
you want to have the right.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to have the right scaling so you don't have all these repeats of the same patterns throughout the clothing, throughout the garment. So you don't have the same thing up on your chest 3 or 4 different times, or you see the same thing going through your legs 7 or 8 times. But I really love just, the shades of green, the shades of brown and black and gray that we've thrown in there, that it's brought everything into the environment into one camo pattern. And that's what I truly love about it, because when Kaza was being designed, originally it was kind of made with the intention for the Texas whitetail hunter, but what was soon found out was that it can be used anywhere. We found that a lot of guys have taken it and just loved it and disappeared in the mountains with it. And so it's a great all-around pattern for just about any terrain.
Yeah, what I see in it, Will, is, and you use it, so correct me if I'm wrong, but let's just say I'm in a background that has a little more brown element to it. It seems like that brown is really what's going to pop out, and the rest of it kind of almost like disappears. And
yes,
the same for the tan or the neutral beige color. If you're in a tan surrounding, seems like that is what's really going to pop, and then the rest of it kind of disappears, which is super unique and fades or makes you just look like you're maybe 3D a little bit. It gives some depth to it, which I really love. It's super, super cool. One of the coolest patterns I've seen in a really long time.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And that's what I love about it. Like you said, when you're just, whatever environment you're in, it seems like the pattern really magnifies whatever color, whatever environment, and whatever terrain you're in.
Yeah, absolutely does. So, well, I know that, we kind of talked about some base layers and, a couple whitetail outfits, but I love accessories too. I love a great pair of gloves and hats and beanies. So why don't you give me kind of your top picks on just, what type of gloves you use and what are you using those for? Are those gloves that you use for whitetail hunting, or how do you use those in application-wise?
Yeah. I actually love using our Recon Element Proof glove. It's not a super lightweight glove, but I don't typically wear gloves anyway. But when I start getting into that 40-ish, 30-ish degree weather, my hands really don't bode well with that. And so I don't, I primarily bow hunt. I rarely pick up a rifle anymore. And so I can't pick up a huge, big glove like one of our Waypoint gloves or a ranch glove. Those are going to be more of your heavier, colder weather glove for the guys that might be still stand sitting or, hunting whitetail in huge snowy weather. But my favorite piece for my hands is going to be that Recon glove. Okay. And then we've also got a really cool Marina wool visor that we have found that a lot of bow hunters like. Your typical trucker cap, your Richardson, was it 119 or 115 hat, can sometimes get in the way of your string, and it makes you adjust on your bow weird. And so we've got that Marina wool visor that it's got a shortened bill on it, and it seems to fit the head really well, and it doesn't get too hot, and your head doesn't get too cold. And so we found that a lot of guys love that.
I will say, sorry to interrupt you, but years ago I had a hat like that, and over the years or whatever, I lost it. I mean, it was probably 30 years old, but one of those short billed beanies like that, I mean, it is the ultimate hat, especially I always go back to whitetail hunting, but it's the ultimate hat if you're a whitetail hunter. Like, I would religiously wear that thing day in and day out and leave my, like you said, that big Richardson 5-panel cap in my truck until I got back in the truck. But that's funny that you mentioned that accessory, because like when I was looking at the website, I was like, that is one of the items I would first and foremost pick, was that hat, exactly, because you don't see them very often anymore.
No, you don't. And so that's been just one of the favorites. But then aside kind of from gloves and hats, one of my favorite things that we make is our Bino and Tech harness. That thing, like, I've tried a ton of other harnesses in the industry before I came to Pnuma, and as soon as I tried this thing on, I love it because it stays tight to your body. You don't feel like you've just got this. One of my good friend of mine has used this term because he's used other Bino harnesses. He goes, you don't feel like you have a child on your chest.
Right. One of the dad backpacks or front packs.
Yeah, you don't feel like you're carrying a child on your chest. And so I love it because it fits almost every Bino on the market. And so I love that about it because you can actually take out these little foam pads in the bottom to fit different size binoculars. And then we've got an accessory tech pouch on the side that, I typically keep my release in there. I might keep my, when I went to Arizona, I had the quick attachment for your binos down to your tripod, and I'll keep that on my left side. And then I actually put an additional tech pouch on the other side that I can keep my rangefinder in that actually has a cord connected to it that we provide. So I love that thing. I mean, the straps that go around your shoulder, the buckles, the way that it just sits on your chest and the adjustability to it, it is my favorite piece. Aside from the clothing and the packs we make, this is one of my favorite things that we have in our lineup.
Yeah, I will say,
and it only retails.
Go ahead,
it only retails for right about $100.
Yeah, which is a steal for a nice bino harness. To be honest, that's a great price. One thing I was just going to say, I noticed right away, Will, it looks like it is engineered down to like precision. Like there's no, like you said, there's no extra flab or fat on it. It is like it is really stealthy looking, which I like. And yeah, absolutely, it looks like it would fit you so much better. And it's funny that you brought that up because I had noticed that on the website. But I don't have one of those harnesses because of that reason. I'm like, man, I'm not going on like a tactical SWAT mission where I need like 4 grenades and this and that. Like they're all too much, and I've never like invested in one because I was just like, it doesn't work for my style of whitetail hunting, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, some of those harnesses that you see on the market, they're so big and bulky that it can screw with the way you pull back on your bow. It really messes with your anchor points, and it can affect how you shoot, And
absolutely.
That's what I love. That's what I just love about this. I'm not going to say any other name brands, but I've had vinyl harnesses that I'll lean over to tie my shoe and everything falls out. Or, the harness just like flops away from your chest. And, I'm 6 foot, 170 pounds, so I'm a skinny guy, and I need something that's going to suck up to my chest
exactly.
and stay there and keep all my gear tight to me.
Yep. No, I'm with you there, Will. I'm like 5'8", 150, 155 on a good day, after the gym maybe if I'm lucky, and 2 sandwiches. But, that exactly – just my body type, and I'm glad you mentioned that. Everybody's built different, but some of those I'm not built for that. You know what I mean? I can't even have some of those extra, pouches and little extra things on some of those bino harnesses because it's just too much. And literally, like you said, when you bend over, it's like you're dropping something. Yeah.
And then the other thing I like about it too is we've got magnets up on top that close the lids, and I mean it's perfect, especially for whitetail hunting, and you've got deer that coming in, like down here in Texas, we don't have tall enough trees, so I mean most of us either sit in a tripod or a pop-up. So I mean these deer get 4 or 5 yards away from you. Like we've had deer that I could have reached out the blind and touched them, and if you've got zippers on that thing or snaps, they're going to hear that, and
that's right.
You're done.
Yeah.
And so what I love is the magnets that we have on this are quiet. They don't slap back together and make a super loud noise. I mean, it's a quiet, effective method. And again, that's where it just kind of comes back to us designing our products with the bow hunter in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, another thing I love about magnets, Will, and it's probably one of the reasons you guys engineered that into that product, is they last forever. There's no wear and tear on magnets. It's something like the average magnet, I think, lives 10,000 years or something crazy. So that's a great feature that should just be talked about a little bit more because, like I said, that's one thing that I hate is the loudness of a zipper or the extra bulk, or the zipper gets caught then somewhere else, the loophole for the zipper, it gets caught, and then it's just always some sort of stupid drama. And I can't believe more companies don't actually use the benefits of magnets more often, so that's an awesome feature for sure. When you click or you shut it, it's shut, you know what I mean? And I love that.
Yeah. Either that or the other thing I don't like is I've had a vinyl harness before where it's got the little, I just call it a little bungee cord that, you have to pull down to sit over a hook.
Right.
Over time, especially
it
like
wears out.
It wears out. You're always constantly opening it, especially, if you're chasing after big game, you rely heavily on your binos a lot. You're moving a lot, so you're opening and closing that thing a ton. And so over time, like you said, that thing gets stretched, and then you got to get a new harness, or you got to try to contact the company and find out, hey, this broke. How can I get this fixed?
Yeah, for sure. And, worst phase of that, Will, is that in-between phase when it's stretched out and you're like, I can kind of get it to work, and then it doesn't work ever, and then it's just frustrating, until you finally, but that totally does happen. That's a really kind of just not the greatest design, but that's an amazing vinyl harness for sure. I love that thing. One other product I kind of wanted to talk about real quick before we go, Will, is I think you guys have one of the coolest bags, Expedition Duffel, and you guys probably don't even call it a bag. Maybe it's just a duffel, but it's one of the coolest travel type of bags I've ever seen. So give us a little rundown on what you guys put into that bag.
Yeah. So it's funny, like you're bringing this one up, because we haven't done much marketing with it yet. It was one of those that we designed it and we created it, and we wanted to see how it would do. But we basically tried to make this thing as waterproof as we could, putting water repellent zippers on it. So that way, if you're flying or you got to throw a bag in the back of the truck, it keeps your gear safe and dry. It's another great piece that you can carry it on your shoulder into the airport, and it's actually got magnetic snap connectors to where you could actually put two of these duffels together and check one bag. So you're not having to check two bags. So you can actually put two of these things together. And so it's essentially a modular system that we created. And we have, I think our CEO, he was telling me the other day, when we kind of went through the testing phases of these, we went through, the FAA, and, we contacted all these different people and went to airports, and you can put these two together and only have one bag that you check if you're flying.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. Yeah, that's really cool. That's super unique. I don't think I've ever heard of a bag doing that. I love that feature. And I love the over-the-shoulder strap. I seem to do that kind of more than, I'm not a guy that carries stuff. I always use those straps quite a bit. So I love that. But obviously, it's super, super important as well to have that handle, which you guys incorporated. But
yes,
and you can remove those straps too, I take it, Will. And then if you do both bags, how do you kind of harness that? Do you just keep the straps the same way, or do you cross them?
So what you can do is your shoulder strap, you essentially take that off, and then you can snap two bags together, and then you take those straps and basically go around the bags to keep, extra protection and extra harnessing to keep those bags together.
Gotcha. That's really cool. Yeah, that's phenomenal. Yeah, it looks so well made. It just looks like the perfect complement to anybody that travels for anything, really. It's I don't know what it is, like age or something, who in the world thinks about bags, but I don't know. You wake up one day and you're like, man, that bag is pretty awesome. So that's definitely something I would put on my gear list to definitely, purchase one day. And it's kind of almost like it's a must-have, because some of your gear, as you know, Will, and you're traveling, it's valuable, and you want it to be kind of snug and not loose and not bouncing around, and that bag just looks like it's so well made.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah, you can carry just about anything. You can fly with it, throw it in the back of the truck with all your gear inside of it, pack it. You can stuff a ton in that thing. Yeah,
for sure. Another thing, well, travel-wise, is a lot of the, like regular bags you just get at the store for traveling, they get so banged up and tore up, especially at the airports. They're just not very friendly with your bags. But so it's kind of nice that if you make the investment on an upper-end bag like that you have the confidence of a legit lifetime warranty. You don't have to worry about it ever again.
Yep, exactly.
Super nice. So, well, before I let you go, Will, is there anything you kind of want to talk about, or did we miss, or, I think we covered everything I kind of wanted to talk about and get out to my audience, but, I was just excited to have you guys here, and excited when, a cool brand and company is doing great things in the outdoor industry. I love it, and, I had to talk to you today, and I appreciate your time.
Man, I can't thank you enough for having us on your podcast today. I know hunting season's everybody's getting ready for their hunting seasons for this fall. People are getting prepped, getting their gear right now. So definitely be sure, go check us out on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Today is actually the last day of our 12 Days of Pnuma giveaway. So if you get the chance, head to our website and get entered into that. But, no, I think I see a hunting trip for you and I in the near future, maybe spending some time out in the deer woods together, the turkey woods, whatever it may be, but we'll have to do that sometime.
Yeah, let's do that, man. I would love to do that for sure. And turkey or deer, I mean, obviously you probably tell from the conversation today, I love my deer hunting and whitetails, and that would be super fun. So let's plan something.
That sounds like a good time, man. Yeah, I'm not too picky on what I hunt. I love to go spend time in the woods, and as long as I'm not in the office or inside, that's what I love to do.
Absolutely. I know, Will, you just mentioned today's the last day for the gear giveaway, but I'm going to get this show out so everybody can potentially get online and register for that. But let everybody know today what you guys are giving away, actually, because it's awesome giveaway.
Man, today, I've been building it up over the past 11 days, telling people, hey, you do not want to miss out. As time goes on, the prizes are going to get bigger. But today we're giving away a full Waysuit system, so that's the Waypoint pant and jacket, and we're going to be giving away one of our Crestone packs. So, I mean, it's
big.
Those guys, big prize pack. So those guys that, you're wanting to go in the mountains, you're wanting to go chase elk, and it might be your first time, and you're trying to figure out what gear to get. If you were to win this, you've got, a big chunk of your gear list knocked out right there.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a huge help for sure. So, well, hopefully we get the chance to do this again, and maybe even a live one day at deer camp. But thanks so much, man, and can't wait to kind of watch what Pnuma does and the future holds and new products. I love gear and good quality gear, so always excited to talk about that, and we'll definitely get you back on the podcast.
For sure, man. That sounds like a plan. And again, really appreciate you having me on today. Enjoyed it.
Yep, absolutely. Appreciate you. Everyone, make sure to check out Pnuma Outdoors, and you guys know you can find us right here every week, Outdoor Podcast Channel, iTunes, Amazon Music, and as always, deer season never ends. See you guys soon.